Welcome to the Wildcast podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Welcome in and welcome back to Wildcast Studios on Rogers TV for another episode of the Wildcast podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats, presented by Alpha's Appliance Solution, the premier destination for all KitchenAid, Whirlpool, and Maytag appliances in Moncton. Right now, they got the KitchenAid Cook Up the Savings event. Save $300 when you purchase any 3, $400 when you purchase any 4, and $500 when you purchase any 5 qualifying KitchenAid major kitchen appliances. Qualifying purchases now till Halloween. As always, fan listeners, I am your host, Adam Lund, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster, Mr. YQM, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. And with that intro, sir, yes, your hints to YQM a couple weeks ago were bang on. We now know who's going to be headlining. First of all, welcome back into our Halloween style studio here.
Our boo at the stew.
Our boo at the stew. But yeah, we've got some headliners now. So, and I know them.
There you go.
I don't really know one of them though.
The names are familiar to you, eh?
Two of the I know all three. I know one of the guys a lot. The other one now I know a lot, and the third one not so much. I'll let you decide which is which.
Yeah, for sure. So if you would have been listening a few weeks ago, I gave some hints. One of them being that one of the headliners headlined a show in Moncton as recently as 5 years ago.
Yep.
The answer to that trivia question was, of course, Luke Bryan, who holds the title of the last act to have performed on Magnetic Hill. So he holds that title. That was in 2019, so exactly 5 years ago.
Yep.
The other clue was this individual headlined Cavendish within the past 3 years. The answer to that was Kane Brown, which I absolutely nailed on that one as well.
Yeah, you did.
Did I give any other hints?
You didn't. You gave the 2 hints, and you weren't quite sure who the third one was going to be. I don't think you gave any hints for the third one.
Yeah, so the third one was John Party. I was informed he was a headliner because he's headliner material.
Who?
John Party.
Who?
Big Brother Canada alumni.
Who?
Former Rimouski Oceanic. Former Amherst Rambler. John Party. No, it's not the same John Party. But
you could have fooled me. You could have stopped right there, and people would have looked at me going, "John Party, Rimouski, what?"
Yeah, no, it's and then I'm assuming they had John Party lined up as their Thursday headliner until they found out Jelly Roll was available. So Thursday, so John Party will be opening for Kane Brown on the Thursday. Jelly Roll, there's no openers confirmed for him on the Friday. We've got Luke Bryan on the Saturday as a headliner, and Dylan Scott is one of the 4 openers on the Saturday for Luke Bryan.
So who are you most excited to see?
Well,
I guess first, who do you think I know more than the other ones?
Luke Bryan?
Yeah. And the only reason I did that is because we bought tickets to the Hill show.
That's right.
And I didn't really know his songs because there's like 4 country artists that all sound the same. And so I was like, well, I guess I'll start figuring out his songs. And I downloaded the Spotify and I listened to all Luke Bryan I could take. I knew them all. And then Layla was pregnant. It was raining. She didn't feel like mucking it through the mud. So we didn't end up going to that show. So which one do I kind of know?
Jelly Roll.
No, I know of Kane Brown, and he's got that. He's got the one song I know about Kane Brown, and I know he's not a one-hit wonder, is Famous in a Small Town.
Okay.
That's the one I know. And then Jelly Roll I know because he's pretty much everywhere, whether it's Serious Hits 1, not a sponsor, Octane. He was the official song of SummerSlam this year. So I know who Jelly Roll is, and I know the few famous radio songs. But
so that's going to be
still saving money by not going. What about you?
I've yet to buy tickets.
Last year you bought them real fast.
Right on the as soon as they were announced, I had my tickets last year. Things are a little different. You know, I had just sold my place last year, so I had money in the bank.
Yeah.
This year I just bought a house, so I don't have money in the bank.
I'd like to refinance my mortgage. For what reason? Why QM?
Why QM tickets?
Yeah.
I actually had a bunch of my friends had thought about maybe doing like the executive VIP table.
Yeah.
The $15,000 one.
Yeah.
Well, turns out the $15,000 executive table sold out in the first day.
You don't say.
So that was out of the question.
So is Jelly Roll the Nickelback of this show, where it's not a country act? It's because you mentioned that
a very good country voice. A lot of his hits right now are country.
Yeah.
And so I think he's the big act. He's the one everybody's going to see. I think if they ever decide to do one-day tickets, that Friday will sell out very quickly. But
still where it is.
Still the same location, Music Art in Dieppe. There's last year, I should say last year, this year, 2 months ago, they didn't put one-day tickets on sale until about 2 weeks before the concert. So we're a ways away, I think, from getting single-day tickets. I will eventually get mine. By the time I get mine, it's probably going to be tier 3 pricing, but that's okay.
How do you feel about the 3 acts?
Good. I thought after last
compared
year,
to now that we've got 4 years of this.
Yeah, this is their third
or fourth. I thought it was fourth.
I'm not sure if it is, but I think this might be their fourth.
So they're saving Nickelback for the 5th anniversary.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. They seem to updo themselves, so that's even a word.
Yep.
Updo themselves every year.
If Boo with the Stew is, then updo is as
Boo
well.
with the Stew.
Boo in the Stew and then updo.
No, I didn't think it would be possible to top last year.
Yeah.
It's but they did it. This is probably their biggest one, and if this is their last year, they're going all out.
How was the Arkells?
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's save that for the end of the show, though.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Not to give away any hints.
No, we should probably talk about things at the end of the show that make it put into the first part of the show. For those wondering, I'm wearing a football jersey because when we record this, it is Monday Night Football. So this will be a quick episode so I can get to my pre-gaming of all the Monday Night Footballing. Remember last week, everyone, when we talked about leaves and how pretty they are and how you didn't have much leaves? Boy, oh boy, did that change. I have no leaves, no trees, no nothing. Like it's actually kind of sad. I kind of miss having leaves. But then Jeremy sends me pictures of his yard. And guess what? I don't miss leaves anymore. What are you up to? 8 bags now?
So on Sunday, I spent the majority of my morning raking.
Yeah.
In which I had those 5 big paper Canadian tire bags full of leaves. And my grass was green. I could see the grass again.
Then
3 hours later, I go out and there's probably 1,000 leaves on the ground again. So I just said, I'm going to wait till next weekend.
Just let it happen. Yeah.
Today,
and then
I think today was probably the worst leaf falling day of the I no word of a lie. I went out there actually I shouldn't say, my wife went out there. My wife and daughter went out there actually after supper tonight and raked for maybe 10 minutes at the most.
Oh wow.
And there's a 6-foot pile. So I've got another 5 bags full, probably to put into the garbage. And I haven't even touched my front yard yet.
Now, are you dual purposing these bags into your Halloween decorations?
No. I was thinking about it. Yeah. What could I do? Like a big dummy?
Well, you still got that doll, don't you?
No, the doll in the garbage.
For any of those people that are wondering what doll I'm talking about, go to our YouTube. Go back to last year, or one of our shorts. I think it's titled "Why Is Adam Almost Fall Out of His Chair?" Not the one where I do fall out of my chair, but the one I almost fall out of my chair. You'll realize why we're doing that. But you could take black garbage bags because you have the brown ones, right? That's what you filled.
Brown paper ones.
Yeah. So take a black garbage bag, put it over top of it, or even go get some orange ones, and you got yourself a pumpkin. Like a stackable pumpkin, right?
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Or
actually, you can probably just go buy those pumpkin garbage looking bags and fill a couple of those. You got pumpkins
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's good call. Good
call.
Enhancement of the Halloween decoration.
I don't have them, but I know how to. I'm an idea guy. As people will know, I like to have a lot. Don't always execute the ideas. My wife will tell you, what do you want for supper? Oh, I got a great idea. Did you make it? Well, no, why didn't you make it? I don't execute it. You make it. Like, hello. I actually made a TikTok recipe yesterday or Sunday night.
Oh, yes.
Brown steak cubes.
Okay.
Brown gravy mix, onion soup mix, and some beef broth.
Yeah, so good.
So, for all those wondering, when you look at a TikTok recipe, open it up. Open the comments, because the comments sometimes have the actual recipe. So I'm just like pouring stuff in, and I'm dumping the broth in, and she comes in, she goes, how much broth are you supposed to put in? I'm like, I don't know. The whole thing? She's like, no, not the whole thing. I'm like, she's like, did you not open it to find it? I'm like, no. I looked at the description. It didn't say it. She's like, read the comments, dummy. So I opened the comments. There was one for a pork, a chuck roast, and then the next one down was the actual recipe for that. So it needed like a cup of broth. Right. So I didn't put the whole thing in. I stopped at about half, and it came out a little more like soup than gravy. So she stepped in, did some cornstarching, made a nice gravy. And mashed potatoes. It's a simple 4-hour recipe on a Sunday. It was good though.
We had roast as well on
nice.
Sunday. Yeah, I did the same thing. Did the roast in the slow cooker with. So I put my carrots, onions, and celery on the bottom of the slow cooker.
Yep.
Then I put my roast on top, season it, and then I do some gravy.
Yep.
Or some broth around it, and then when you take it out, you wrap the roast up for a little bit so it kind of stays warm, and then you do your gravy. But you have to make a roux first.
Wait.
So your roux is your equal parts butter and equal parts flour. This is your culinary session of the podcast.
And fun fact, it's going to transition into Hell's Kitchen.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So your roux, so you do your equal parts butter and flour.
Yeah.
And then you gradually add gravy. And it made a pretty spectacular gravy for the roast.
I think from now on we need to film our stuff and just send it to me, and I'll make the TikTok.
Yeah.
And we'll not put the ingredients in the description.
No.
Suckers. But that brings us into Hell's Kitchen. And with our recipes, our idea and execution of the recipe, we might have been able to maybe last this long. But Michael is no more.
That's my guy.
Yep, that was your guy. Lulu switched over, so I was wrong on that one. Oh, Kyle, he is not good at pickleball. Like 20 attempts at trying to get his stuff in, but that's back-to-back weeks now that Egypt has been in the nomination. It's almost like Team Blue has it out for him because of his attitude. Oh God, are they ever?
He won't be around much longer, I don't think.
No, he's falling apart. Team Blue's falling apart. I still don't like now that Michael's out. Do you have someone you think could last based on what we've seen through 5 weeks? Because I don't think Egypt's going to be there.
But from the red side,
yeah.
But
because I don't really think there's a.
I can't think of her name, but is it Amanda? She's from Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning on right now.
I believe so. Amanda.
Hawaii.
She's from Orlando. Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii is Megan Ellis.
Megan, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to think if that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, she seems like she's got a pretty good idea on this one. I think we're going to see a couple more guys go home just based off this. Like as we were watching the preview, I was like, "Oh, good, it's the crying episode," because it was just all crying, being homesick, which I completely understand. I can't imagine what that would be like. So yeah, don't forget, as always, you can follow us on the social medias for recipes, hockey, Hell's Kitchen updates. On Twitter, Moncton Wildcast, Instagram Wildcast Podcast, TikTok Wildcast Podcast, and here on YouTube, don't forget to don't forget to like and smash the subscribe button. It lets us know you like what we're doing. Click the little bell so you don't miss any podcast post games or any content this season. That's pretty much it on that side. Now we're going to get to a quick question, sir.
Quick question.
Yeah, this didn't come in from any fans or anything like that. I just was thinking of it today. We have achieved a month in the QMJHL season. So let's get some thoughts on the league as a whole. Okay. This doesn't have to be, if you want to include Moncton, you can. We're going to talk about them later. But how have you thought this month has gone? Any surprises, any disappointment, anything going the way you thought it would go?
The Maritimes division is a lot more competitive
than you thought
anybody would have expected.
Yeah.
That's the start.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, Charlottetown's kind of the outlier.
Yeah.
Which we kind of did expect here, but 1 month into the season here.
Or are they taking my advice? Because they've got the crossover position right now. Now they're going to have to face Drummondville.
Yeah.
Which that's a reward, but yeah.
No, at this point of the season, I could not have predicted, or no one could have predicted, that of the 6 teams in the Maritime Division, 5 of them are already in double-digit points.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just the way it goes right now. I couldn't. I mean, Cape Breton's won their last 5 after getting off to probably the worst start that they could have ever gotten off to. Mm-hmm. Ironically, I think they scored, a minute or 2 into their first game of the season, and Pat McNeil had it's a dream start for the Eagles!
Yeah.
Well, that dream start didn't exactly work out too.
And then it was
but Halifax doing a lot better than I thought. You know, that's what a coaching change can do when you bring in a guy who he's won coach of the league. I forget which league he's been coaching in, but
DEL, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. He'd won coach of the year for like 2 or 3 straight years. So he clearly knows how to win. Bathurst is on a whole other level right now. St. John is, I don't think anybody would have expected St. John in the position they're at right now. So first surprise for me is how insanely competitive the Maritime Division has been. Secondly, I know they're kind of on a bit of a sluggish. They're on a bit of a slide now, but Quebec got off to a really good start.
Yep.
They're kind of starting to tail off there now, but that's to be expected when they're rebuilding. And
I think it was EIHL, the Cardiff Devils.
Yeah,
that's who he's coach of the year for.
So, but other than that, I mean, no real surprises. Gatineau's at the bottom where they should be. Val-d'Or's at the bottom where they should be. Victoriaville, they should have a little more. They should be performing more or better than what they are, but they're in a tough division, tough conference.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's staying in the Maritime Division. We talk about special teams all the time. I've talked about it, GCP's game-changing plays. You know who has the worst power play in the league?
Somehow they're first overall in the league.
Yeah.
Or second
overall in the league. Bathurst.
Yeah.
Bathurst has a power play of, I think it's like 16% or something like that. Like, it's just not good. But they're winning kind of in spite of that. Like, it's just, and they're doing the things, and we talked about it in the preseason. That was a team that we just didn't. Last year it was Cape Breton. We wanted nothing to do with. Mm-hmm. This year, from the preseason to the first couple of games, they know how to play us. They don't just know how to play us. They know how to play everyone. They're 7-4 in this division. Moncton's 6-2, but they're 7-4, and they're doing it with a power play percentage of 11.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, they're just, and their PK, which has probably helped them a lot, is at 88%, so second overall in the league. But you talk about special teams, and that team is second in the league with 11% on the power play. So if they get going, it's even more scary on what they can do. My second one is Drummondville is who I thought they were going to be. Mm-hmm. And they are literally, I think, going to be one of the most fascinating teams come trade period because
it's going to be interesting to see which direction they go.
Yeah, and I can't there's a couple players on that team that I was like, you know what? I think I want this, and we've talked about it. We're not doing any trade talks till November, the second, third week in November. But there's a couple players on that roster that I was like, you know what? They would look good
on our year, but
and I'm not even talking about my MVP. I'm talking about other players on that roster that would look real good. But I don't know if there's a reason to do that. I don't know what they have picks wise. If you can bring that up since you brought your laptop, and I appreciate that. But you look at, Mercer's the number one goalie in the queue, and they were doing a lot of their damage without Gauthier. I think he's only been back for 4 games or something like that. But even still, he's come back for 4 games and put up 10 points in 6 games. So, their 05s, Dufour, Woodworth, is their 20, Rotundi, Brunet. I think they're a team that is very fascinating to watch, because I think a lot of teams thought they were going to pick off that roster to let them rebuild, and I don't think that they're in a position to do any of that.
No, unless they go on a deep dive from now until mid-December.
Yeah.
Which
I don't see that.
Considering where they're playing and the conference that they're in, it's pretty much theirs to lose right now. They seem to they're pulling away. So Drummondville 2025 draft, they have 2 seconds and 2 thirds, a fourth. Those are the picks from the later rounds. We're not going to talk about those.
No.
2026, they have 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 fifths. 2027, first, second, 2 thirds. So they've got enough to.
They've got the ability to do some damage at Christmas
to improve the team.
Yep.
Or they just stand pat and just build.
Yep.
Just build and stay competitive. Right?
Add a player that nobody's thinking of that fits right into a lineup and success even more, right? The other one that I have, what are they at? Yeah, 19 points. So they're 4 points up on Miranda. The other one is just how goaltending has played out in the league as a whole. Mercer obviously is number 1. Steinman's number 2 in goals against average, but look what Gravel's doing to allow St. John to get out to a hot start. You think Blainville maybe regrets that as they're down in the bottom of the standings? Delafontaine, who was sent from Chicoutimi to Blainville, he's having a bit of a tough go, but he was dominant for Chicoutimi in what they were doing. Obviously Melota's got kind of back to where, he's playing really well right now. I think he's won 4 of the 5 in a row for them. And, but at the time when they got off to a bad start, it was Ruccia was the one that was dealt out. So, and even in Rennes, Meloche, he's a rookie and he started 9 of the 10 games for them and has been very good. So, it's just a weird year in terms of that. And then you look at the goalie with, unfortunately, the most losses, and it kind of is the same situation here. You look at Gabriel Dag, and he kind of got Philly-oned because they had a 2-year window and they brought in veteran goaltenders and he played every now and again. And now he's kind of struggling to be a number 1 goaltender right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's, clearly he was drafted high for given his size and his potential, and it just hasn't lived up to the potential. So is that a him thing, or is that a goalie development thing in Victoriaville? There's a lot of question marks surrounding him, because he should, without a doubt, be one of the top guys in the league right now. It's his 3rd year in the league already, and he's sluggish. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how take a snapshot of what we have now and see what it's like in after Christmas, because now you've got a lot of the maritime teams taking their Quebec road trips and other Quebec teams coming. So now you get into the heart of the schedule, and it kind of feels like this won't stand pat. I mean, a lot of these teams are going to get better or worse kind of thing, but coming off the top, I think the Maritimes division has to be the surprise of the league, as you said.
Easily. I can't even believe how it is right now. It's tight. Is it going to stay like this? I don't know, but you're right. Once these teams go on Quebec road trips, the standings could take a different turn, because really a lot of these maritime teams are just profiting off each other.
Yeah.
Right. You have Halifax beating St. John, and then the next night St. John beating Bathurst, and you have Bathurst beating Halifax, and the next night Halifax beating Bathurst. So it's we have these teams have to get out on the road and really see how they stack up against the Quebec teams.
Yep, and how many GMs kind of stand pat and stay where they are. But let's
news and notes from around the Q.
News and notes from around the league presented by Integrity Lawn Care. As you heard Jeremy say, he's got 18,000 leaves in the past hour that have dropped on his yard, and he's got his wife doing it. Smart. But if you don't want to have your wife do the lawn, make sure you give Integrity Lawn Care a call. They can take care of that lawn just before the winter gets here. Check them out on Instagram or give them a call, 506-866-8218, or call them at Integrity Lawn Care at hotmail.com. The CHL has announced full tournament passes are now sold out for the Memorial Cup. Only single tickets available for games this year, which fans can put their names on a waiting list. Is that odd that they're sold? Like, we don't even know what teams are going to be there. So fans of, Barrie and Everett and Windsor and London, they maybe already bought the passes thinking their team is going to be there, but this seems awfully early to be selling tournament packages.
The last time this tournament was in Rimouski, that didn't even sell out.
Really?
So something is definitely suspicious. I don't want to start any conspiracy theories here, but it's very odd that the tournament would be sold out this fast.
And look, they I thought that the schedule came out too for the Memorial Cup already.
I saw you shared it.
You what?
I saw you shared it.
Nope, I didn't share it. I was going to share it, but I didn't share it.
You sure? I remember seeing it.
I like how I'm looking for it.
Because you said something about there's no back-to-backs for the Q team.
Oh, maybe I did.
For the Q champs.
Yeah, which is always a bonus.
Didn't you? Pretty sure you did.
On our page?
Yeah.
Well, let's go find it.
Sorry, folks. We're in a research
mode. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I feel like
it's got to be somewhere.
I feel like I probably did.
Yeah.
And wait. While we're waiting for it, news of the day, which you might already know, but Zach LaRue was called up.
Yeah.
To Nashville. So
over under, how many games does he play in the NHL before getting suspended? 2.5.
1. And so he's going to come up and fight Brad Marchand. I don't know if that is. I don't know if that's the thing, but that's what a lot of the fans are saying. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna fight. It's coming up for that."
I would love to see that.
I thought I did share it, but I guess I must have not. But yeah, the tournament gets going on the Saturday or on the Thursday. I thought I could have swore I did.
You definitely did.
Which is really annoying because, there it is. I didn't share it, or if I did, I think I was going to when I sent that thing to you and then didn't actually do it.
May 23rd.
May 23rd. Yeah. And then Saturday, the Q representative. And again, the bonus of having the Memorial Cup in your league is you don't have to play the back-to-back nights. So the OHL plays Saturday, Sunday against the Quebec team and Rimouski, and then the WHL team plays Monday, Tuesday against the Quebec representative and the OHL team. The thing that I hate the most about this Memorial Cup, other than the fact that it's not here, is it doesn't start over the holiday weekend. Why does it not start over the Victoria Day long weekend? It used to give fans the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday, the Monday off, 4 days. I just don't get how the CHL doesn't figure this out to end the season the Monday, and then the teams travel to play on that Thursday if they need to, and start your tournament on the long weekend or the Friday of the long weekend kind of thing. It just makes more sense.
It used to be like that, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Weird.
So, I don't know.
File a complaint.
I would love to. We had some trades. We had 3 trades today. The Eagles have dealt Noah Reinhardt to the Fourier for a 2025 third and a 2027 second. So it's got a signal that Braden Schmidt's close, eh?
Yeah, by the sounds of it, he's probably another week or two away. But interesting that they would trade Noah Reinhardt now and wait until he's back. But whatever goes in the Eagles' land is what they decide to do, and then they signed Dylan Andrews.
Yeah, another 20 just in case.
Yeah, which was interesting because apparently he was asked to come back to. I'm trying to word it here now. He was asked to be kind of that 20-year. What am I getting wrong? No, I'm talking about Lavallee. Sorry.
Yeah, they traded Lavallee to Chicoutimi for 7th in 2027.
Yeah, so that was I'm just losing my train of thought here. But interesting week in Eagles land. They've pretty busy opening or start of the week for them.
And then Julian Paye sent from Baie-Comeau to Gatineau for a 4th in 25 and a 6th in 25, which teams are saying they brought him back. And I'm like, well, when did you trade him?
Mm-hmm.
Must have been 2 years ago for him to be coming back. But yeah, and what the Eagles did on that trade is and end up getting basically the same value, just the years are flipped.
Yeah, they
around. So maybe there's a point where Valdor's like, well, we'll give you the value you had with other years if you take it now. If you wait, you may not get the value you want because we know you're desperate to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's true because they paid a second and third to get him, and then they traded him and got a second and third back.
Yeah,
it's pretty good asset management. I'll give him that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking for the preseason. Where was it? I don't care to find it that much. Yeah, that's pretty much that's it for news there. We are back with our Boucher Q team of the week.
Yes.
Technically not week anymore, but we are back. So without any further ado, Mr. Boucher, you are up. Brandon, I hope you're paying attention.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brandon, for bringing this back. I had to do my research. So this isn't necessarily a team of the week. It's a team of the first month. So you'll probably predict a few of these names, but we'll start in nets and work our way up front. So in nets, we have Riley Mercer, 8 games, and he's still under 2.00 goals against, 1.5 goals against average. So good luck, Moncton, Friday night.
12 goals in 8 games.
Yeah. On the back end, from the Blainville Boisbriand Armada, Xavier Villeneuve. If you haven't had a chance to watch this kid play, he's like our own version of Lane Hudson or Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
He's like that small, mobile defenseman. He's catching some eyes so far this season. And then Nate Tivy in St. John. Who would have predicted Nate Tivy would be leading the league in points by defenseman?
Oh, okay.
1 month into the season.
Yeah. Not
St. John. Up front.
I like that that's a St. John.
Up front. Sean Carrier, 12 games into the season, has already surpassed his points total from all 59 games as a member of the Wildcats last season.
Thanks, DL.
Thanks, DL. Justin Cote, league's point leader, despite playing on a rebuilding Remparts team.
Yeah.
And finally, our own Johan Loshing for his 100th career goal, which, if it wasn't for us, I would bet 50 cents that our team would not have said a damn thing.
Yeah, I feel like that could be accurate.
Here we go. Team of the week. Team of the first month.
So we will be back for team of the week next week.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll return in full force next week.
Yeah. So, and the Q did us a favor because they knew this was a big event. They knew that the team of the week, the Boucher team of the week / team of the month this week was coming out. So they didn't put their team of the week out this week. They did put their player of the week out. It is Antoine Verreau. He had five goals and added 3 assists in the 3 games that the Huskies went 3-0-0 in. So we thank them for not putting out their team of the week so that Jeremy could put out his team of the week. And now it's time to talk about our team.
Weekly Rewind.
All right, the Wildcats go 2-1 on the week with wins over the Sea Dogs and the Sags. And yeah, we'll get into the other one. Bringing the record to 8-1 for 17 points, second in the Maritimes, third in the conference. Thursday was TNF night versus the St. John Sea Dogs.
And we got a TNF score.
Yeah, we did. This is a tale of two halves in this one. The Wildcats jumped all over the Sea Dogs, getting out to a 6-1 lead before taking the foot off the gas and allowing the Sea Dogs to score 4 straight, getting to within 1. And then finally the power play. Last year may not have scored when we needed it to. This time it scored when we needed it to and gave us a bit of a cushion. They ended up winning this one 8-5. I was not there, but watched it on TV. Too sick to go to hockey. Too sick to go to work. Too sick to go to hockey. That's my rule.
So the Wildcats got their touchdown and 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
While the Sea Dogs got their field goal and a safety.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what this game was about. And Keegan Warren started again. I don't think any of the goals were really on Keegan Warren. I couldn't really. It's a different view when you watch on TV to see the whole. You don't see the whole play happening, but from what I saw, I don't really blame Warren on many of those goals. If I remember correctly, it was a couple were like out of the back passes, a couple turnovers. Like I understand maybe why he was pulled as this is everyone in front of you's fault that he's getting pulled. Like at 6-1 or I guess it would have been 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. I think it was after the fourth goal.
No, because Steinman came in and didn't allow a goal.
Yeah, so it must have been at 6-5.
Yeah.
So, but at a 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, your goaltender should not come out. And I think this was a fact that Gardner looked at and went, it's not necessarily maybe Keegan's fault, maybe a couple he could have had, but it's look what you did to your starter, and now I got to put the backup. Fix this now. Yeah,
and there was a response. The response was Mateo Mann took a stupid penalty, which gave the Wildcats power play. And Julius Sump, I think, got the 7th goal, which really kind of settled things down.
Yeah.
Once they got that power play goal, it was like, okay, we're back in it. 2-goal leads restored. Let's just calm down a little bit here. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing they got that penalty because, we could have been looking at a different story. And if they would have blew a 6-1 lead, that wasn't fun. If you're sitting up there in that media booth and you're those fans and you got a 6-1 lead against the Sea Dogs, you're feeling good about yourself, and all of a sudden
after 40 minutes too.
Well, yeah, it was 6-2 after 40 minutes. I think St. John got a late one.
Yeah, they got one with 18 minutes left.
So that's maybe would have been their late goals can kill you kind of thing, right? And that it's Lady Mo, as we've heard, and they just took their foot off the gas in the third period. The Sea Dogs are in 5th gear, the Wildcats are in 2nd gear, and when that happens, it's not going to take long for a game to change, and that was proven to be a fact.
Bit of a theme in taking your foot off the gas. Friday or Thursday, they got away with it. Zach Moran played his first game, got his first 2 assists in the league, first 3 assists in the league. Just overall thoughts, if you kind of remember what kind of a player he was.
You can see the potential.
Yeah.
You can see the potential, and anytime you get a big player like him, a big name player like him, was a top prospect that was definitely leaning towards NCAA to sign in the queue. It's good for the league, and you can tell he's going to be a player that, again, if he decides to stay in the queue, because we don't know what's going to happen with this NCAA thing.
Yeah, that now put a new wrinkle into it.
But if they, if he sticks around, I think he's going to have a very successful season and career with the Sea Dogs.
I'm not going to lie. I really hope that the Wildcats come out with a magnet, because using this and having to try and schedule-wise, pain in my butt. Then Friday, this team was shot out of a cannon. 80s night. If you missed Jeremy's outfit, go to our YouTube and
dressed up Briggs, man.
Yeah, you and Wild Willie.
Yeah, Wild Willie had a good get up goal.
Yep. If you missed his outfit, go to our YouTube page and go to the 2 podcast post games. This is a playoff rematch, and this team, we haven't seen it in 2 years. When the game means something, they're ready to go, and this team was ready to go. Now the Sags look different without Massey.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a different look for them, a little out of sync. But I don't know if it was just them or the fact that the Cats circled this thing on the calendar and they were not losing this game after getting embarrassed. In the playoffs, they outshot them 23-7, which I looked at you and Stefan Paquette up in the booth, and I said that's almost as many shots as they had October 12th against Sherbrooke in total. They had 25 shots and scored 9 goals in that game. They were out to –
They were out for revenge.
Yeah, they were out to embarrass Chicoutimi, and that's exactly what they did. And this is actually one of the ones they didn't take their foot off the gas. It was almost perfect. The only problem was the one goal. They got caught puck watching.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a mishandle, and they all kind of got puck watching, and Guite was standing on the corner.
Guite's not going to miss from there.
No.
So that's pretty much it. There's nothing more for us to really say about this game.
Yeah.
It was just complete domination. The first period was the best period of hockey I've seen this team play in, God forbid, 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since the world ended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since March.
There may have been
of 2020, probably the best.
There may have been a period or two in the first year of the rebuild when DL was kind of putting things together. We would come on here and say like everyone's playing their role.
Yeah.
And a couple surprise periods, but after that, when everything kind of opened up again, I don't remember the last time they played this well. And you're just like, where's this all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, and even still, they outshot them 23-7. They got outshot 13-9 in the second. Didn't give up a goal. And then in the third, they were like, no, we're good. We're going to keep going. Outshot them 9-4 and kept the foot on the gas. But this doesn't take away from the playoffs, but they were ready to go to work on this team.
Yeah, if they play every game like they played the first period against Chicoutimi, they're going to be tough to beat.
Oh yeah, man. that is true. The only misstep was the DJ. Actually, the only misstep was the band. Oh my God, are they terrible? That
went any worse.
Yeah, especially that's something that you put an 80s cover band in there and you're like, all right, there's no real expectation. Like they might sound cool. All right. But then when they play the songs that we heard during the game, the actual songs, it didn't get any better. But Mr. Psychedelic, it's 80s night. Halfway through the game, you get a whistle at 9 minutes. It's 80s night. You have the ability to play Living on a Prayer. You play Living on a Prayer. We really should anyways to kind of get the crowd singing with it. Something that gets the energy going, but I digress. Sunday, the Wildcats headed up to Cape Breton, and I don't know if it was they were a victim of an emotional letdown from having that Friday game against Chicoutimi, or they looked at the standings, or they listened to our show from last week heading up there, but they weren't ready to go. They spotted a very good team, a 3-1 lead, outshot 17-10. As great as they played in period 1 against Chicoutimi, that was about as bad as they could play 2 nights later. And, I mean, I think at one point it was 9-2 in shots for the Eagles. They competed hard in the third, but you can't spot good teams a 3-1 lead. And I'm pretty sure if you go back, I have uttered these words 15 times last year. You can't spot good teams 3-1 leads.
Yeah. At one point, I wondered, was Stan the claw behind the bench? I had so many flashbacks to last year,
and
I couldn't watch the rest of the game. I turned it off.
Yeah,
it's very rare that I would turn off a hockey game. Like I was so frustrated with that effort. I was grumpy towards my wife and daughter Sunday night. Like I was grumpy. I wanted to go to bed at like 7:00 because I didn't want to communicate with anybody. I wanted to be done with life because I was so PO'd at that effort in Cape Breton.
So was Avery.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Quebec. Cape Breton's a team that played in Halifax the night before. Didn't get back into Sydney until 2:30 in the morning. Probably didn't get back to their billets and in bed until 3 in the morning. And they had to be back at the rink for, 11 o'clock. We should have been taking advantage of the team, but I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
We played Friday night and jumped on a bus Saturday, got to Cape Breton, and we were the Wildcats were probably in bed at a decent time, had a good night's sleep, and you'd think they were still sleeping in that first period. I don't know what happened. I know they're used to 4 p.m. starts on Sundays.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3 p.m. start caught them off guard because, let's be honest, they didn't show up till about an hour and a half into the game.
Yeah, and that was a theme against Halifax too.
I was
a 3 p.m. start.
Very frustrated. I was very, very angry. I almost overcooked my damn roast because I didn't want to. I wasn't. I wanted nothing to do with anybody in the world.
Yeah.
From like 5:30 p.m. Sunday until I went to bed. I was extremely frustrated. I'm not going to say anything more about this game, but let's just say it's not going to get any easier.
No, it sure isn't. And I did the same thing as you. I shut it off now. I shut it off for different reasons. I shut it off because I'm not superstitious, but as you can see, I'm wearing a jersey because that's what I wore last week when the Bucks played and won. So I'm what you call a little stitious. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shut this off. Maybe that'll change things. Sure did, because it was 3-1 at the end of one, and then I turned it back on, and it was 4-1, and then I turned it back on, and it was 4-3. I was like, hey, I did it. I should have shut it off right then because they got pretty close to tying it. But
I'll say one thing about this game. There was an instance involving Marcus Vidicek that I don't think you'll see again.
No, he went full Draisaitl there.
Yeah, you won't see that again this season whatsoever.
No,
I can promise you that.
But 2 positives from the weekend that I forgot to talk about. FA and FO with Gabe Smith against Chicoutimi. Whew. Yeah, that's yep. And Pakarchuk got his first goal.
Of course,
like on the road. Like I said on the live, like he's going to score on the road. It's going to happen, and he gets his first one on the road. Good for him and the crowd.
Did you see him throw the monkey?
Sure did.
Yeah.
And one of the weirdest things about this team, that was the 4th straight game they've had over 40 shots.
Yeah.
This year they've had in 11 games, 55% of the time they're over 40 shots this year. They're 6 of 11 over 40 shots. 27%, 3 of 11 over 30, and then 18%, 20 or more. And in those 20 shot games, they won both of them between Bathurst and Sherbrooke, but they've gone 40 early on against Charlottetown on the road in the opening weekend, 40 against Halifax in the loss, and then 44 against Charlottetown in Black Jersey night, 49 against St. John on the 17th, 41 against Chicoutimi, and then 43 against Cape Breton.
Wow.
Like this is a team that they're going to put up shots, win or lose. And sometimes it works out where you don't need to worry about it with, like against Sherbrooke, they had 25 shots, scored 9 goals. And sometimes you're going to put up 43 shots and it's going to take a little bit. But, our friend Drew Bear made sure to let us know that Cape Breton won.
Yep.
And I will own a little bit of it in terms of when they traded for Henneberry. It seems like it's working out. I said, is he a goaltender? Melota's playing well. But I think if you ask Cape Breton fans last night, I don't think they thought that Cape Breton played a 60-minute effort either. And they kind of got showed that you can't not play 60 minutes against a good team. And
I think if there would have been 10 more minutes in this game, it was a different outcome.
Yeah, and I like
that's the key to this team. Like, just start. I think you could win. Last season, I said you got to win games. You play 60 minutes. I think this team is offensively has enough firepower that if you take 5 or 10 minutes off a game
at the right time,
you're still going to manage. But I mean, I'm sure that will probably come back and kick me in the butt one of these games. But I just, prior to the game against Cape Breton, they'd scored 29 goals in 4 games.
Yeah,
I mean, this team can score.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Even if you want to include the Cape Breton game.
I think in their
32 goals
in their 6-game winning streak is like 38 goals.
Yeah,
is what they had to 12, I think. But we got 2 more contests against Cape Breton. They're both at home. We don't see them again until December. So a little bit of an odd schedule with Cape Breton. Like we see them once, and then we don't see them again until December, and then we don't see them again till late January and into February. Of course, we see them 3 times, once on the road and twice at home, the day my daughter's supposed to arrive. That whole week. So come on early. Not too early. Not too early, but come on kind of early. But like Dag McKnight said on Twitter, if that type of game is the first one, this is going to be a must-see season series.
No, 100%.
Between these teams. Like you said, it doesn't get any easier. Now they get the 3-in-3 on the road. And this is the litmus test of litmus tests. You get the number 1 team in the league in Drummondville, who you put up 43 shots, 44 shots, 49 shots. You're probably going to need that against Riley Mercer to, like, you're going to have to play. If they play like they do against Chicoutimi, they'll have success against Drummondville, I believe.
Oh, 100%. I think that's kind of the mindset, is that, it's going to be nice because this will be the first time that a lot of these Quebec players get to see their families, on this road trip. These are the games that the Quebec players probably look forward to the most, because their family and their friends all make it. And it's not like they're in the middle of nowhere. Like there's going to be a lot of Moncton fans on this road trip, and hopefully they can take advantage of it. The Friday night game is probably the game that you want to watch. It's going to be.
Both teams don't play until that game.
Yeah,
like Drummondville doesn't have to play on Thursday and second night.
It's going to be a good one. And you know what? It's a good thing it's a Friday night, because I'll be able to stay up and watch it.
It is a late start. It is 8 p.m.
Actually, for some reason, coming into this show, I thought it was one of those 3-game and 4-day road trips where it was like, I thought it was Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday for some reason.
Yeah.
But apparently not. It's going to be a really fun atmosphere Friday night. It's going to be a really good game. And I'm not taking anything away from, a game against Shawingan or a game against Victoriaville, but if there's a game on this trip then that I'm looking forward to, and you're looking forward to, and everybody else is looking forward to, it's Friday night.
And I think the players would be looking forward to it too. They see the standings, they see where Drummondville is, they see the talk about them, and I think the Shawinigan was the team that a lot of people pegged to kind of lead the Western Conference. Mm-hmm. And that game on itself, that's a quick turnaround. They play at 8 p.m. on a Friday night, and then they go Saturday, they play at 5 p.m. So it's not even close to 24 hours. And then obviously they get Victoriaville on the Sunday. So again, and you're catching a Victoria team that's not playing up to their potential and what they want to be at all. I think this is a perfect road test for it. And one of the things that I took away from our interview with Gardner on the post game is he said, I asked him about trap games and coming off, the St. John game and taking your foot off the gas in a game against Chicoutimi and blah, blah. And he said, the regular season is like a laboratory. So he doesn't, I'm sure he gets annoyed with wins or losses, but from what I took away is wins and losses aren't really what's mattering. It's how are you playing against this team? How are you playing against this team? How's the group coming together so that when the games matter, they've got it down to a science. And I think that's one of the more encouraging parts is, wins and losses are going to matter, but every game is going to be a different specimen of what we're looking at in terms of this team's culture. Yeah,
no, for sure. And I'm totally with you. There's Gardner will have this team ready. This team wasn't going to go 64-0.
Mm-hmm. No.
They were not going to go 63-1.
No.
They were not going to go 62-2. We know that now.
And we're not going to keep counting down every time they get lost.
Exactly. There's a couple records that myself and Adam are keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
That we're not going to talk about on the show. Because we want to see if the organization is keeping tabs on these things.
Yeah.
One of these records may not occur this season. We hope it does.
I think it will. The success
that this team is having this season.
Yeah.
We really hope it does.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it's going to happen next season at any time. But it will be a monumental accomplishment for the franchise, and another one
sooner rather than later
could happen before Christmas. There's one that very well could happen.
Could happen before they get home.
Well,
could happen before they get home.
It could happen before they get home. That's true. Yeah. Hopefully,
unlikely, but it could.
Yeah, it very well could. There would have to be a lot of good things that happen.
Yeah.
But no, this is one that if you thought 100 goals for Loshing was significant, this next record is bigger, in my opinion.
Yeah. We could see your rookie of the year, though. Your rookie of the year pick in Shawingan.
Not very greedy.
Yeah.
Who? Boy.
Go to the Q website, had an article come out, and kind of said, like, he thought the Q was lesser than the USHL, and he found out quickly, like, it's a pro league. Like, there's not a lot of days off, a lot of practices, and it takes a while to get used to. Both of our picks actually are in this game with Lestakos and Gradine. But we don't have to play Delafontaine, so that's a big thing. Shawinigan's, I'm kind of excited to see. I mean, where's the guy that I just said? Vince Ellie, who's kind of in top 5 in scoring in this league. Like, a guy from that played with St. John that kind of was on the cusp of being not bad. That's kind of really taken off in Shawinigan, and then you're catching Victoriaville, and depending what goaltender you get, that's of the 3, that's probably the winnable game on the road trip, and I think that's probably the one that you see.
Down the legs.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to legs, and it's going to come down to conditioning when you get to that third game. And I can fairly say in the past 2 years, I have not worried about conditioning as much as I've worried about it this season. And I'm not even worried about it because when these guys want to go, they can go.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think Lauren will probably get the Victoriaville game if I had to guess of the 3. But what the hell do I know? I didn't think he played 2 of the last 3.
We aren't the coach.
No, this was almost the road trip we were going to go on, though.
That's true. We talked about
I'm
it.
kind of sad that we are not going on it, but for those,
we'll find another one.
Yeah. Well, let's do Rennes in January.
No, thank you.
That's the one. That's the 3 and 4 Thursday. We can fly to Gatineau, rent a car, get up to Rennes on Saturday, and
I think it's like a 4.5 hour drive from Gatineau.
Yeah, and Thursday in Gatineau, Saturday in Rennes, Sunday in Val-d'Or. So we will get up to that because Pat told me that the Mr. Puffs is right across from the hotel that they stay at. So yeah. So are you ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to that.
Eric Murray, realtor, buy a house from him. Stick tap of the week.
Before we get into the stick tap, speaking of Eric Murray.
Yes.
So shout out to Eric Murray.
The safety for the Texans or
Eric Murray, realtor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a safety for the Texans.
Eric Murray.
We were watching the game, and every time he made a play, it was like, Eric Murray just misses the interception. Lynn was like, what? Buy a house from him, but he can't pick off a ball? Come on, I need it for fantasy.
He was awarded the Lacrosse New Brunswick Volunteer of the Year. So very awesome. Very
well
awesome.
done.
Very good.
Well,
Good
is that
stuff.
the stick tap?
No.
That's the honorable.
Yeah, so the actual stick tap, Saturday night at the Avenir Center, I had the ability. No, I had the ability. I attended the Arkells concert.
Oh yeah.
Featuring the Joel Plaskett Emergency.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with these bands or.
Yes, I think my wife saw Joel Plaskett once, and she's seen the Arkells, I do believe.
Yeah,
so
just a little background. So Joel Plaskett was in his mid-30s.
I'm familiar with the songs because you were tweeting out lyrics and song titles
on
Friday.
Yeah. So the Joel Plaskett, as a mid-30-year-old man at the time, I was in college in Charlottetown as a early 20-year-old man. When I would be able to go watch Joel Plaskett at the bars in Charlottetown almost every weekend for $5.
Yeah.
$5 cover.
Yeah.
Go watch Joel
Standard.
Plaskett.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I knew probably 2 of his songs just based on memory alone. But for a 50-year-old guy right now, he still moves like he's got moves like Jagger. Like he can still groove it on the stage. And the Arkells, I mean, it's been way too long. It's been a while. I think they said 17 years since they headlined a show in Moncton. They opened for Nickelback on the Hill back in 2012.
Aren't they East Coast band?
No, they're from Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they, it was an absolutely phenomenal show. I knew almost every one of the Arkel songs, but a live concert isn't the same as songs on the radio, right? Like it's
Yep.
There's so much more energy at a concert, a live concert than there is on the radio, and I couldn't have had a better time. My wife didn't know any songs, but by the time she got home from the concert, she was like listening to us. These guys are good, man. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal show. Great acts. Another great act, Wildcat Avenue Center. So Canadian music. Support Canadian music. That's your stick tap of the week.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, because that's how I felt with Creed. Any Creed song on the radio, you belt it out, but when you're actually there live, it just live. If you have the chance to go to live music and you want to pay Ticketmaster fees, do it. Support the band, because I don't know any Arkel songs, but I probably would have had. I mean, Layla does, but I probably would have had a good time. It was the same with Imagine Dragons. I knew most of their songs, but once I saw them live, I'm like, I'm hooked. When do I get to go again? How do I get to go again? Well done. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Excellent stick tap, sir. All right, that brings us to the Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary, Lynns Massage and Spa, whom for the month of October has 40% off all spa services. And don't forget, they also have the loyalty card. Buy 9 spa services, get 1 free. Call them at 506-830-1224 or stop at 1224 Mountain Road. A few candidates this week. I'm not going to lie to you. A few candidates this week, but man, when you hit a milestone and you have a great week, like he didn't just hit the milestone with 1 goal in 3 games, which is kind of nice. It makes it awfully easy. 7 points over the week, 4 points Friday, including the hat trick, another 3 points, almost the hat trick. But like we said off air, I don't know how Collard tipped it. And I said, I don't think he did. I think he just had his stick there and it exploded it. But still, 3 points on the Friday night, 2 goals and an assist. But he got his 100th career regular season goal. Your Wildcat of the Week is number 28, Yon Loshing. And that, sir, is the end of the evening. That'll do it for the show. Don't forget, like I said, Wildcats have 3-3 road trip. They're on the 5-game road trip. They're not back until November 2nd. There's a kitchen party at the Avenir Center, apparently.
Kitchen party.
So I'm bringing the sink. What are you bringing?
Pots and pans.
Nice. Monctonian Jacob Gucci and the 4 years are in town.
Yeah, I've already been told I'm not allowed to go to that game.
What?
Yeah.
That's
my wife.
Oh, that's the Avery birthday thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. You didn't convince her to go to Halifax for the weekend?
No. So there's going to be about a sleepover with 10 kids, and my wife's like, you're not letting me look after 10 kids all by myself. So I told her, there's hockey in that night. You're like, you're not going to hockey in that night. I'm looking after 10 kids. I was like, okay, whatever.
Or take the 10 kids and while Willie looks after them, because the Wildcats have the birthday thing, right?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't think that. But if you want to go to that game and you are a Hometown Rewards member, check your app. And if you're not, download the app. There are a promo code for discounts on the ticket. I'm not going to give you the promo code. Go get the app. They've got promo discounts on tickets until December 31st, 2024. The November 3rd bus trip for the Wildcats to see the Mooseheads is sold out. So congratulations, everyone. Remember, if you purchase your tickets, it leaves from the Coliseum parking lot in the corner there instead of the Irving that it left from last year as well. There is another bus trip December 8th. That trip will start selling November 2nd. The Val-d'Or game at the intermissions between 1:21 and 1:22, I believe, and will go until they're sold out. That will also let us know that. So for those wondering why I keep looking at the screen, I've got the show over there so I can see what I'm doing and hitting all the buttons. So I'm not like having a nervous tick. We'll be on the Q103 Go Home show with Brock Gallant this Wednesday, updating you on the road trip and the week that was. And that's about it for Jeremy. I'm Adam. Enjoy the game against Drummondville. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.